What exactly is gerrymandering? Essentially, it's the process of giving one political party an advantage over another political party by redrawing district lines. There are two successful practices: packing a district and cracking a district. Packing is the process of drawing district lines and packing in your opponents like cattle into as few districts as possible. If more districts equals more votes, the fewer the districts there are, the fewer votes the opposition party will get. Packing, then, decreases the opponent's voter strength and influence. Cracking is the opposite, taking one district and cracking it into several pieces. This is usually done in districts where your opponent has many supporters. Cracking spreads these supporters out among many districts, denying your opponent a lot of votes. When you have a large number of people who would generally vote for one type of party, those folks are known as a voting bloc. Cracking is a way to break that all up.
Gerrymandering technically is unconstitutional.
Incumbents had a 94% success rate and won almost 80% of all seats up for election. In fact, more than a third of the incumbents in the general election did not even have to defeat another candidate to win. Raising more money was also helpful, but to a lesser extent. Non-incumbent candidates who held the fundraising advantage had a success rate of 53%. However, their win rate dropped to 32% when they were running against an incumbent. Incumbency and fundraising prowess often went hand in hand. 85% of incumbents were fundraising leaders. Candidates with this dual advantage won an astounding 96% of the time. In stark contrast, candidates with neither advantage had a success rate of only 8%.
Current government shutdown traces its history back to a determined core of GOP House members who are vehemently against Obamacare and were willing to shut down the government because of it. These members happen to be from very conservative districts where they won by big margins, and their jobs are secure more or less. And in both parties, there are congressional districts that are set up by the states to keep the parties in power. But some believe if the system stays this way, our politics will kind of stay this way. Our report on all of it tonight from NBC's Kevin Tibbles.
You're willing to bring this country to its knees.
Ever wonder how we got here?
We did not elect a dictator. We elected a president.
A good many fingers are pointing at this guy. Founding father and Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry drew this contorted district to ensure his party's victory in 1812. One political cartoonist likened it to a salamander. From that day on, the practice of redrawing maps to find friendly voters has been known as gerrymandering. North Carolina's 12th district looks like spilled coffee. Pennsylvania's 16th is flexing its muscles. And one commentator compared Maryland's 3rd to a broken-winged pterodactyl. And then there's this. They call it the earmuffs. You may think I'm zipping along on an 8-lane highway, when in fact I'm traveling the single thread that links the two halves of the Illinois 4th Congressional District.
The control of the House of Representatives would switch from the Democratic Party to the Republicans.
When Republicans won the majority of state houses in 2010, it ensured they'd be redrawing the maps in those states. And lo and behold, it paid off in 2012. Nationwide, Democrats running for Congress got 1.1 million more votes, but Republicans sent 33 more members to the House. But it's not just Republicans who draw safe districts. Democrats do it too. In 2012, both Republicans and Democrats had a paltry 15% approval rating, and yet 90% of House members were reelected.
We've now created a system where politicians are choosing their voters more than voters are choosing their politicians.
Mathematicians using algorithms have proposed creating electoral maps based on geography and population to eliminate the politics.
If we continue to have a system which allows ridiculous folks to be elected, then we're going to have a situation where government actually just literally does not function.